I think you were more excited for this one than
I was. I think that's why I'm more disappointed. Right. Welcome to Stupid Movies, where we watch them so you don't have to.
Yeah! And today we watch the brand new reimagining of Slumber Party Massacre. 2021, TVMA, 86 minutes long. Directed by the same person that did the Banana Splits movie, Danishka Esterhazy, and this are Hannah Gennara and other people.
Gesundheit.
We go out to the woods where murders happened before to have a sleepover in our undies and take a butt-naked shower outside. And what happens when we get drilled by Russ? So what happened when he showed back up?
Slumber Party Massacre is the story of a group of college girls who go out to a cabin out in the woods. The one girl's mother was the final girl
in 1993
of a massacre that happened out there, the driller killer. So her mom was the sole survivor. They go out there, they're on a road trip and their car breaks down, or does it, and they get trapped out at this cabin, or do they? And they start getting killed off.
We like the Slumber Party Massacre from 1982. We like that was the year that we were born.
We like the whole series of Slumber Party Massacre movies.
What do we like about the reimagining of Slumber Party Massacre?
I thought the core concept was very clever. We're doing everything we can to recreate the original situation so that the killer comes back so that we can kill him once and for all. I thought that was really cool. What a good idea.
I actually thought the acting was pretty good.
The acting was very good. I thought the gore was presented really well.
Absolutely.
It looked really good.
I was pleasantly surprised with what was actually on screen that we got to see. And I thought the makeup effects and the gore that we see is pretty good. Mm-hmm. I mean, the one kill in particular, with the guitar, was that a guitar string? Yeah, that was neat.
Pretty good, yeah.
That was ridiculous, and I loved it.
I did like that scene quite a bit. This does remind me a lot of Dude Bro Party Massacre Part 3, in that it is, to a degree at least, it is attempting to flip the script of, very attractive late teen, early 20s females running around almost naked or sometimes completely naked, and flipping that to point out how ludicrous it would be in that situation by having guys do it instead of the women.
Right.
Having very intelligent women and very stupid guys. I actually, as much as the agenda to this movie annoyed me, I did appreciate that for what it was.
Sure.
Because yes, when you really think about it, the women in a lot of horror movies, especially the 80s slashers that these are taking shots at, are dumb as shit. Yeah. They get naked for no reason. And yes, I do agree that that is problematic. And seeing it done to, what I'm going to assume is attractive males, better looking than I am, does point out, yes, how stupid this cliche was back in the 80s, 40 fucking years ago.
I actually like that it does throw a lot of nods to the original. Even some of the shots are similar to the original, and kind of the setup. So, and I appreciate that they respect the original and incorporate that in, but kind of just change things up to today's audience.
I may disagree with you on that. I didn't feel like they respected the original.
I like the pacing in this. I thought it went by really fast, which was shocking to me. Yeah. Like an hour in, I'm like, wow, it's an hour and I only got half hour left. There was nothing that slowed it down for me or made me feel bored or put me out of it.
I almost wholeheartedly agree with that, except that I will say, and it's interesting that you pointed out at the hour mark, because at the hour mark was when I started checking to see if it was close to being.
Really?
Up until that point, though, I was, right along for the ride. It was really good. And then it was at about that point, it just slowed way down for me. Well, we don't like people fucking with our cult classics. What else don't we like? First and foremost, we don't like people fucking with our cult classics. I'm sorry, Slumber Party Massacre is a cult classic.
Of course.
It did not need redone any more than Evil Dead needed redone. Mm-hmm. If you want to tell this story, great. There was a core concept of a good story here. And if you had called it something other than Slumber Party Massacre, take the driller killer out of it, put a different killer in there, that would have been fine. And this movie would have scored higher for me. Slumber Party Massacre is a very specific moment in time. When I say I felt like they didn't respect the original, this is what I mean. I feel like they looked at the original and said, here's all the things that are wrong with this movie that came out in 82. We're going to make it right now. No, you did not respect the original. You went back and slaughtered the original and just took bits and pieces out of it that you thought might fit into your story. So to me, it did not feel like they respected the original at all. It also, and this is a weird thing to say, but I think film is very important to point out issues. But you're pointing out things that don't exist anymore. Those half-naked girls running around in the forest slasher flicks from the 80s that this movie is really, really complaining about, they don't exist anymore. Not to the mainstream audience. And so you're pointing out this problem that is gone or is in the past. What are you expecting? That we're going to go back to the 80s and change that? No, we can't.
I took it as they were basically saying, okay, so like his mom said, why do you do this? Why do you dance like that? Why do you do that? All you're doing is making him come for you. And so I took it as they're trying to say, well, okay, the whole, the rape stuff, it's not the girl's fault.
No, I agree with that.
And I think that's what they were, I felt like that's what they were trying to get at, which it's true. That's a big thing.
That is a valid point that I agree with you wholeheartedly on.
That's what I took from that. I was like, they're really driving home that if this happens to them, just because they're wearing this doesn't mean that should happen to them. And I think that's what I got from it.
I want to be really careful here because I don't want to victim blame.
Yeah,
and that is not what I'm doing. I'm talking specifically about this movie, nothing else.
Yeah.
They intentionally had their car break down.
Right.
Where they knew the murderer was at. They intentionally followed all of the steps that her mother took to get the killer to show up there. It kind of is their fault. Yeah, I'm sorry. But they had it very planned out. I'm not for victim blaming. I'm not saying you had it coming. But you kind of invited it at that point. You were hoping to get attacked.
Well, that's what they went there for. They wanted to bring him out so they could kill him.
And to me, that almost negates the message you're trying to make.
Sure.
Because had this just happened to them, had they not been planning on this, yes, absolutely, it was not their fault. Right. Don't blame the victim because bad people do bad shit. But in this case, you kind of stuck your hand in the lion's mouth and then you're mad because it bit you. And again, I really hope people understand that I'm talking only about the movie, not about the real world. There was an agenda in this movie. I mean, good God, you could have shoved it any further down my throat. Subtlety is a great way to get a message across. So any message that was there, I just didn't care about because I was angry about it.
Really, my only biggest thing is there wasn't enough gore. And I get it's a TV movie, so I was surprised how much they actually did show. But I don't know, there was too much off-screen or too many quick, and some of the CG that they used was pretty rough.
If they had called this movie something else,
like
a Sleepy Time Murderer, would you have liked it better? If they took away the baggage that comes with the name Slumber Party Massacre, would it have been more successful?
I don't know. I think it's a personal thing for people.
I think so too. And I only bring it up because for me, I went into it with a very set expectation because I have seen all of the Slumber Party Massacre. I have all of the Slumber Party Massacre movies except for this one, which I'm going to pretend doesn't exist. You give it a name, you get a very set expectation. And now you can subvert that expectation to take it to new, surprising, interesting places, but this didn't do that. And I feel like if they'd called it something different, I would have liked it more.
Well, let's wrap it up. Let's end this slumber party so we can move on to the next day.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised by this. I love the originals. They're cult classics. They're great. The whole name thing doesn't bother me. With this one, it just didn't. I don't know. I felt like it stayed true in a lot of ways to the original with certain things. And I appreciated that. I had fun with it. I thought the movie was a lot of fun, actually. I thought it moved along fine. Some of the gore was really good. Could have used more. The characters were fine. Acting was pretty good. Technically speaking, it was well made. And I was entertained. That's what it comes down to. I had fun with it. And it breezed by. It was a breezy watch for me. And I get, with a lot what you're saying. I totally get it. That stuff typically doesn't faze me. We're a little different with a lot of that. Yep. So my biggest thing, it was fun. It wasn't boring. And I would say check it out. I'm going to give it 7 out of 8.
These are my favorite type of episodes where we don't agree.
And there's been a lot lately, I feel like.
Because this, to me, just drives home the point why there's 2 of us on the show. Movies like this are why there's 2 of us, because we provide a good counterbalance to each other. We like different things in movies. I didn't like this. This movie was so spot on with how their agenda was. The way they end the movie, the final girl from the past is talking to her daughter, and she says, "Don't worry, it's over." Bam! Goes to black, starts the credits. I did enjoy the thought of it being gender swapped, where, you know, the guys are the dumb ones running around half naked the whole time. I don't care about seeing half naked guys, but I can appreciate the idea of what they were doing there. So I'm fine with that. It didn't respect what to me is a cult classic movie. They didn't understand what we loved about the Slumber Party Massacre movies. They were stupid. Yeah. It's just how stupid and how ludicrous and how over the top it was. And that's what we enjoyed about it. And that was not here. None of that was here for me. I didn't enjoy it. I'm giving it points for creativity, even if I didn't like the creative direction it went. I'm giving it a point for the dude butt. You know what? I'm going to give it a 1.5 out of 8.
Have you seen the new Slumber Party Massacre movie? Did you have fun? Did you not have fun? Let us know down below what you thought. What's your favorite Slumber Party Massacre movie? Like, subscribe, tell your friends, or the driller guy will get you. Yeah. Head over to facebook.com/StoopidMovies. Go to Instagram @StoopidMovies, and you can also email us at StoopidMovies@outlook.com.
Send us boobs. I like boobs. Boobs are good. I like boobs. Boobs are good.
Yay, the boob send it.
I will give you a good summary of it very quickly. Okay. This is if you took the original Slumber Party Massacre, cult classic, and took a shit on it.